Shalom, real quick, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem, Al Shai Bashem, Rakakudah, Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of your elect out there. Shalom to y'all. Like I said, I'm going to make this super quick. I'm going to title this video, The Cruel Lord Starts Another War. So I'm going to let this play. This is Dabu 7. Fair use, fair use, fair use. I'm going to slow it down. So here we go. Not even 3 minutes long. Listen up.
Boo 7. And by all accounts, it's about to pop off in Venezuela. Many Americans sleeping on this, but a massive war is about to begin. This is going to involve America, and it's going to run all the way up to our border. They are stating right at the gate that this is a narco-drug type of operation, but Maduro and his people feel like this is another attempt to throw him. It could all be bundled together, which is probably what is about to happen.
And we know why this is happening. The ones of you that didn't know. The ones of you that didn't know, this is not for you anyway. You should move on to another video.
We have destroyers, Poseidons, everything you could think of surrounding down here in the Caribbean. And he is rallying troops, putting them on the border areas around the coastline, and they just suffered a massive blackout. Their main city of Caracas just got rocked by what they're calling electrical sabotage.
Hey, that's the blackout. So, the first suspect that, the usual suspect should come into your mind. That's all I'm going to say. Remember, we're speaking in code.
So, massive blackout here hitting as they're rallying. You can see here, and they're preparing for war. And here you can see a U.S. guided missile cruiser spotted crossing the Panama Canal as we've got these warships heading to the area. This is real deal, the big guns going for Maduro. So it's about to go down, and the whole news cycle is going to change. This is going to affect everything big time, and there's going to be blowback. Doing things like shutting the lights out in their whole entire capital is very, very indicative of a strike about to happen. And again, Americans would be crazy to think that this can't happen to them. There will be some type of blowback, counter attack from them once this all kicks up. And I feel it's going to be huge, and it's going to be ongoing. You're going to see car bombings, you're going to see all types of stuff. You're going to see the craziest of the crazy brought to America, and it's all by design, and they've been waiting to play this card for some time. So it's about to begin. They have a plan, especially if you're in one of the border cities down by our southern border that can see an influx of targeted attacks and things like that, since it will be the easiest for them to get to and to pull off. But this is widespread everywhere. A heads up, I'll leave links here. Join me for the live show going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, talking about this and a whole lot more in greater detail. Hope to see you there. Much love.
Okay, so, all right, you got it. You got it down, commercial. Anyway, so you see it right here. There's breaking news. This is live crux, I believe that's pronounced that way. Live war in the Caribbean. U.S. warships, troops headed to troops headed to Venezuela as troop takes on Maduro. He said he would end the war inside of 24 hours of him being president. I'm talking about Russia, Ukraine war. And now he's starting one. And I'm going to find out what system, political system is Venezuela under. So this is live. You can watch this. This is put up 31 minutes ago. Forbes breaking news. So it's breaking news around the world. Protesters gather in Venezuela after Trump deploys naval fleet outside of country. Trump's deportation army lands in Chicago as 400,000 migrants dig in. It's 3 hours ago. Basically, we're under martial law. But you can't technically call it martial law because it's under an emergency. For example, if a country outside the U.S. attacks U.S., the military is supposed to retaliate, and they don't have to go to Congress because it's an emergency. They just attacked us. We got to attack them before they destroy us. So you have a certain, I believe, in an emergency when you go to war with another nation, I believe you have 90 days before before Congress declares it war. It says no, it's not. We're not going to go to war with these people. So that's why when he took over, that's what he did. Took over D.C. He did it under an emergency. I mean, you can read about that. I'm not going to do all that reading. Jump to different sites. U.S. This is 2 hours ago. U.S. Venezuela all-out war any moment. Maduro's chilling. Ultimatum to Trump. Warships wait to attack. And this looks like it's going to be like another Vietnam War. But y'all put him in there. You know, the cruel Lord is getting a lot of pushback. So, you know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Bear with me for a minute. And I'm going to give you a couple of precepts too. I'm going to go focus on the word war. Oh, by the way, since it's coming up, when it comes up, let me say this. I was talking to one of the newest brothers in the camp. I believe he's been in the camp for over a year. And I was getting on him about doing videos. He does videos. But I said, you got to do more videos. And I said, just do them. There's no excuse. Just do them. Which he is doing them. But we're in a time now when we're on, let's call it high alert. Let's call it an emergency. And let's call it the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, in the race, if you ever ran track, I ran track. You had that ribbon. And you know you're going to win. You know you won when you hit that ribbon. So the last few, whether it's a distance race or a sprint, you got to really push it. You got to really push it. And I remember when I used to run track, I used to get so hyped because I did the 100 and I did a distant run as well. And when I did the 100-yard, you know, the 100, which now they call it the 100, what is it, the 100 meter, which is a little bit shorter than 100-yard. I used to get so amped up, I didn't want to talk to nobody because the race was important. And I didn't always race in 100 because nobody in the distance. I had to do the distance thing. I was a better sprinter than a distance guy, but I was a good distance guy too. Jake ain't in the distance running. I'll do both. So that's the mindset you're supposed to be in. And the Apostle Paul spoke about running a race. He spoke about he used example of wrestling. He used example of boxing. He used an example of track. Which back then you had the Olympics on. So the Apostle Paul was definitely aware of the Olympics. So let's do this. Venezuela's political system. Political system.
Venezuela has had 4 forms of government: dictatorship, authoritarianism, presidential system, and federal republic.
Okay, which one is it right now? Said had. Dictatorship. Politics of Venezuela. The politics of Venezuela are conducted under what is nominally a federal presidential republic. So he was voted. They saying he's not the real president, but he was voted in by the people. But is in practice an authoritarian system of government. Well, we should know that. That's what we're coming under now anyway. So they're going to push. See, the politics of Venezuela are conducted under what is nominally a federal presidential republic. So he was voted in, but is in practice an authoritarian system of government, which is another way of saying a dictatorship. Let me look at this. Venezuela's political system is officially a federal presidential constitutional republic. So it's a democratic system. But they're calling them a dictator and a tyrant. We should know about tyrants. Anyway, let me ask this. Is Venezuela an ally to Russia? Yes. So if it gets too hot in Venezuela, in this coming war, unless something happens, Russia will have to involve themselves in this war. Yes, Venezuela and Russia maintain a close strategic partnership characterized by mutual support, growing trade, and cooperation in various sectors like energy and finance, all while challenging the U.S.-led global order. This alliance, so they're allies, definitely. This alliance dates back to the Chavez presidency and has strengthened under Maduro, with Russia providing significant political, economic, and military backing. So the weapons that the Venezuelan forces are going to use are supplied by Russia. If it gets too hot, Russia will involve themselves in this war. Military backing to the Venezuelan government in exchange for a strategic foothold in Latin America, because there's more. They say there's more oil. Let me do this. What is the number one resource of Venezuela? Oil. Venezuela's most important resource is petroleum, oil. Specifically, its vast reserves of oil. The country holds the largest proven oil reserves in the world, more than the Middle East, with most of it being extra heavy crude located in Orinoco Belt. This resource has historically dominated the country's economy. Why are they poor? I remember at one time, this was back in the 90s, during the presidency of what's this guy? I just read his name, not Maduro, but the guy before him. Was that Chavez? You know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. So we don't need this no more. Venezuela. Okay, here we go. Capital Caracas, Venezuela. Currency Venezuelan Bolivia. President Nicolas Maduro. Official language Spanish. Government. They see government dictatorship, authoritarianism, president system. Come on, man. Come on now. It's a federal republic. So what is it? He's a dictator. We got to get him. He's killing his own people. Let me see here. Former. Give me a second here. Because I have this mic in the way, so I can hardly see these letters. Okay, former president came up. Former president of Venezuela. Now this is the puppet that was set up while he was the president. This guy said he was the president, which he wasn't. Set up by you know who, Hugo Chavez, and he died of cancer. And they say that under mysterious, it was suspicious as to his death. Okay, so 2013 currently. Okay, so him 2019 to 2020. Well, wait a minute. How can that be when he's a president as of 2013? So let's look this guy up. BBC News, former Venezuelan National Assembly president and opposition leader. Right, he was a National Assembly president. He's not the president of Venezuelan presidents. He was never president. Juan Guaido. He's a puppet. Who was the legitimate president of Venezuela? Right, Maduro. So why did his face come up first? Because he was set up to be the president. So, when you go to Google, you're going to get a lot of, you're going to get what's called propaganda. Let's look up propaganda. Propaganda, meaning information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote or politicize a particular political course or point of view. Another way of saying is lies, deception. All wars are based upon deception. Let me do this. Was there a blackout in Venezuela?
2019 Venezuelan blackouts was on Thursday, March 7, 2019.
Okay, so they're not talking about the current blackout. Let me do news. See, they keep a lot of shit out the American news. Okay, here we. Let me see. Venezuela government schedule. Is there a blackout? Okay, there's no. Let me do this. Is there currently a blackout in Venezuela? Nothing. Is there currently a blackout in Caracas, Venezuela? Blackout in Caracas, Venezuela. There's nothing. Now I know Dabu 7 is not going to lie. They're just keeping it out the news. Anyway, give you a precept or two. Basic precept, Matthew 24. Matthew 24. Sorry, Matthew 24. Okay, here we go. Matthew 24. Let's type in war or wars. Let's just type in war. Wars. Let's try wars. I believe that's Luke. Then it's got to be in Luke. Okay, let's go to Luke 21. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Let's come on back to okay. So now when I first typed it up in, it didn't come up. And I know it was in Matthew 24. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Wars. Okay, it occurs 18 times in 16 verses in the New Testament. Mark 13 and 7. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. Well, the war's been going on since, we got the Civil War, we got the Revolutionary War, Spanish-American War, French-American War, War for Independence, Civil Wars. Luke 21:9, but when ye shall hear wars and commotions. Shall make war with, let me see, the bottomless pit, 11:7, Revelation 11:7, and when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. That's when Esau took down Gad. He put Jake in slavery. And you want to go all the way back, you got to go back to Columbus. You got to go back to when the Byzantine Empire was taken down and the Moorish rulership was taken down. Moors were taken down along with the Byzantine Empire because they were Jakes. This is getting ready to happen. Make war. It'll go back to Christopher Columbus time when they were, loosened, the chains were taken off of them. And they came up out of that pit, Revelation 20 verse 7. Look at that. And it was given, Revelation 13:7, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. It's talking about Esau. Now that goes back to the time of the Renaissance, during the time of Christopher Columbus, because their time was up. When you go back to Revelation 20, verse 7 and 8, and I'll get that because I'm gonna go to the scripture in a minute. Let me go to 27. I'm sorry. Satan freed, doomed. Freed from what? First verse. Satan bound. And I saw an angel come down from heaven having a key to the bottomless pit, and a great chain was in his hand, and he laid hold on the dragon. It's talking about Esau and the power structure of that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Satan freed. The 1,000 years in the 4th verse of Revelation 20 has nothing to do with this 1,000 years. The 1,000 years in Revelation 20 verse 4 is talking about the kingdom, and we're going to rule forever. And when 1,000 years are expired, when they were bound, go to the first 2 verses. Satan, the Esau's power structure shall be loose out of his prison. So when did they start to get loose? Mid to late 1300s into the 1400s, and they got more power in the latter part of the 1400s. Then they had to take over all the Israelites, both kingdoms. That's the reason why this guy came over to America, to build America up, to make it Babylon. Before it was Babylon, it was the land of Canaan. It was one of our lands. That's why King Solomon was able to go there, because that was one of our lands. That was part of the land of Canaan. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the 4 corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, the Russians. Gog, it's supposed to be Gog, Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. That's that battle. That's Armageddon. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compares the camp of the saints. The camp of the saints are the Israelites, but it's also Palestine. And the beloved city, and fire came down from the Most High to heaven, and devoured them, devoured them. Okay. So you know what? It's no big deal, but this. Let me come back to this. Let me come back to this. Okay, here it is. This is a commercial. Let me do this.
Do it like that, just like that, make it like that.
It's about to pop off in Venezuela. Many Americans sleeping on this, but a massive war is about.
Yeah, well, this is going to wake up Jake. I mean, American people. And everybody knows that has half a brain. They know why this is happening. The real reason why ships are down there. It's just one step closer to this man's downfall. Anyway, I said I was going to make this short. I went a little longer than what I expected. So, another major war, and ultimately Russia can get involved. Shalom.